Curriculum of hair care in South Africa is still, in 2026, still defined by white hair standards. They will teach you how to do a pin curl. Hi, well, guys, tell me. Afro ANC pin curl. Imagine we are Pick and Pay. You can get a 8-10-year-old going into Pick and Pay. Are you taking it relax? Right? Nobody's gonna say at the till you can't buy this. But that thing literally is so caustic. So many of our people have burnt their scalp, burnt their follicles from that. But an 8-year-old, a black 8-year-old can go to Pick and Pay and go and buy that product. And you know what's in that product? For professional use only. Why is Pick and Pay selling that product to young people? Why is it selling to non-professionals? As your hair comes out of your scalp, out of the thing, it grows out straight, and then at the point where it is weak, it curls to protect itself. So our curl pattern is our hair's mechanism to protect itself. So when you are straightening it, you are actually exposing all of those microfractures or all of those things that nature had decided, oh, we are weak here, so let's curl down so that we can protect ourselves.
In a world where Africans have lost their roots, it has become of vital importance to document our ways. In an effort to reverse the brainwashing of the past, where we were made to believe our ways are demonic, we are pressed to create dignified and respectful platforms to unpack our spiritual ways. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs or position of this channel, its hosts, or affiliates. This podcast is a platform for open discussions and exploration of various perspectives, including controversial and unconventional ideas. We encourage viewers to think critically, do their own research, and form their own opinions. The content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as fact, advice, or an endorsement of any specific viewpoint. Viewers' discretion is advised. Umoya Ulight, Umoya Ubright. Welcome to another episode of MOYA Political Series. I know with our guest looking the way she does, you might not believe it, but as we figured out, spirit, politics, it's all one thing. And we're going to have that very big conversation. Before we get to it, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to the members who are contributing every month to make sure that we keep our lights on. We've got Ugogo's tattoo. We are going to unpack hair today, the politics of hair. Gogo Sanbon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
First, let me start by saying you are the former vice president of Azapo.
Yes, I am.
And that's why this conversation is so interesting, because this is now, you've gone on a spiritual journey, and now we are here.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's the intersectionality of life. We wear various caps. 1 minute I'm deputy president, 1 minute I'm just a social activist, the next mama. We wear many, many caps, and we just do our best with whatever cap we are wearing at the time. Mm-hmm. And again, like Nisho, today I'm talking hair because this is the entrepreneurial journey that I embarked on a few years ago. But then again, now you're linked very much to my spirituality, because if you look at how I even got involved with hair, it was literally, or even making hair products, it was really about the indigenous plants that were just kind of, they just landed. And from that, we made products. We worked with the CSIR. And I thought, okay, so we're making hair products. But what I didn't realize was the actual politics that would come from trying to do something as simple as hair products. The fact that you think you are making hair products, because firstly, what is the inspiration of trying to make hair products? This is now...
Let's first start at hair as an individual, right, for the black girl,
right,
before we get to what is the relationship of hair and the black girl. Because that's what you're trying to get at, right?
So for me, there's always that disconnect. It's a disconnect because, and that's where I was going to go, is that we're making products because there isn't something that works.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. So as a child, your relationship with your own hair is that it hurts. One. Two, you must go somewhere else. Somebody else must do it. It's painful. They are pulling. You are looking at, oh, Rapunzel. This is the storyline. Rapunzel's hair is flowing. It's long. The white kid's hair is brushed. Ezami, yes, their color. You get to school. They are telling you different schools. You can't comb it out. It needs to be plaited, or you can't have it. It needs to be cut. So your relationship with it is always just other people telling you what to do with it. It's never about your own identity. And I think that's where we come from. And so there's always that disassociation. And then we get to the point where there's the politics of hair in itself and our identities and how we look, where you are told it's easier to relax it, but that's not really what it is. It's easier because it needs to look palatable for certain people. It needs to sit within a particular framework of what is conceived as beauty and clean and neat. And this starts when you are a kid. So by the time you are grown up, you have disassociated with your own hair, and you have a love-hate relationship. And of course, we are lucky because there's just that awakening around Africanness and blackness. And so some people then decide, oh, okay, now I'm going to have it in an afro, but it still must be that nice rounded afro. Or if I'm wearing it in an afro, then I must wear a lot of makeup because, again, it doesn't quite neatly fit into that box of clean and neat. And I think that's the relationship we have with hair.
I want us to go deeper into the spirituality because right now, the hair conversation is important, especially to black women.
Right.
You know, and now we're raising black girls, but we're not wearing our own hair. So the spiritual significance of what is our role, you know, let's center black hair.
Okay. So before I do that, I also just like cautioning people on this approach of oh, black women are not wearing their hair, it's wrong, etc., etc. I think it's problematic. I think us trying to dictate to women what they should and shouldn't do, again, goes back to that very thing that I was talking about, where your hair is governed by either your parents or institutions, etc. And again, even as we are trying to find our Africanness and all of these things, we do so still trying to impose to the black woman. Let's be honest. How black women create a relationship with them is, again, institutionalized, as we know. Black women will tell you, Gutsi, I don't wear my hair not because generally, let me give you a classical example. In the work that I've been doing, the majority of the women with their wigs, they have cornrows underneath those wigs. They have natural hair underneath those wigs. And they wear this, one, because it is convenient. Two, because there is a social expectation. Three, is that the very people who are judging these people have a particular idea of what black women must look like. So women are feeling pressured. So before we can even address the issue of spirituality, let's address the lens that we are using to look at black women that puts them under pressure to do these things. Wigs, are they African? We've always had wigs. We've had different types of hairstyles. That women are wearing wigs, well, if they want to wear wigs, that's fine. Is it okay to wear other people's hair? Of course, I wouldn't do it, right? I wouldn't do it because for me, it's not DNA transfer. I heard somebody talk about DNA transfer. I don't know how you transfer DNA like that. That just doesn't make sense. But for me, hair carries energy. I would not wear someone's hair because it carries somebody else's energy. I would not want that for myself. But do women know that? Some do, some don't. So we have a responsibility to teach them and say, when you are making a decision to wear a wig, understand this is what you are doing. If uzoyithenga, that's fine. Maybe buy it, bring it home, wehlise imimoya wenzeni, do rituals around it so that you're at least grounding it. There's always ways around situations, but it is not for us to decide what women can and cannot do. The spiritual aspect of hair is that really hair is really deep. Like I said, it is a crown that connects you to the universe. It is not just connecting you to the universe. It is like an antenna. This is how you know when you walk into a place, people will tell you, oh, and then I felt my hair move because I was in an unsafe environment or I was feeling unsafe. So it does all of those things, and it's hair you need to listen to. So there's all of that that we need to be cognizant of. But do I think that we should be imposing on women? No, I think we need to be having a conversation, but also looking at the structures or structural pressure that does this to women, and deal with that, because we are not addressing the reason why women are doing this. We want to blame them, but we are not saying, oh, but hold on, the standard of beauty still remains pretty Caucasian. The standard of beauty is still defined by those who pay our bills. This is the money aspect, the capital aspect. 3, the standard of beauty is still defined by an industry that makes money out of black people without black people having a say in it. So those are structural systemic issues of capital, the politics that we are supposed to be talking about, instead of taking all of that blame and directing it primarily at the black woman, which we always do.
So you've got space to unpack here, because we said we had the phone conversation where we we're going to talk about hair because we know it's a big issue for black women.
No, it is.
So please feel free, continue, unpack.
So for me, there's a number of issues. So when we talk about inwele zabantu abamnyama, and maybe let's even look at the capital. So when I said that the young black girl has no relationship nenwele zakhe, or that there aren't even products designed for lomntana to be able to say, I can manage my own hair, etc., etc. I look at my journey of what I was trying to do and what it was taking. So the research that we went into sort of uncovers for us, Guti, first and foremost, even to the majority of the salons. So they'll tell you about how black hair is not formalized, or black salons are not formalized, etc., etc. But the reality is that even when you go to school, because we've had a chance to look at the curriculum that is offered by the services, CETA, the curriculum of hair care in South Africa is still, in 2026, still defined by white hair standards. They will teach you how to do a pin curl. Haibo guys, tell me, ne Afro ANC pin curl. That when you're going to do a test, right, you have to know how to do a pin curl. You have to know how to blow dry hair. We now know through research that you don't blow dry hair, you don't use heat on black hair. But that information is not available in the schooling system. When they say you are doing an Afro course in CETA standards, what they're teaching you dreadlocks, not the actual hair care, not you understanding simple things. The basics of inwele zethu,
Yes.
right? The science
Yes.
behind inwele zethu.
Yes.
So, one of the basic things is that inwele zabantu abamnyama structurally are different kakhulu from white people's hair. They will tell you the basics. Most people know your hair is made up of a cuticle. The cuticle there's various layers to your hair. You've got the cuticle, and then you've got the inner layer that protects your hair. But actually, the actual layer, which is the protective strap, ezabelungu has about 6 to 10 layers. So there is,
What?
Yeah, so your exocuticle, which is the outside part, which is what everybody talks about. Everybody talks about the exocuticle. You actually have the endocuticle, but in between, you have layers. So the white people's hair has got 6 to 10 layers. Ours, if you've got 3, you've got strong hair. Now, when you
So they can take the blow drying.
They can take the blow drying. They can take the coloring. Because remember, when you are coloring, what you're actually doing chemically, you are opening the cuticle so that you can deposit color into the cortex of the hair. That is the process. So you must actually open the cuticle. The cuticle is like scales, right? So you use like a high pH product to be able to force the cuticle open. The cuticle opens, then you are able to deposit the dye. Now with them, their hair, because that cuticle is fortified, it's got 6 layers, it is able to do all of that. And still close when you apply a product, it will still close, and you can continue, and you will see that their hair shines, and it does all of these beautiful things. Where in our hair, the minute you open that cuticle, the likelihood is that you're going to tear that hair. And yes, you will be able to deposit the color, but that hair now, the cuticle is no longer going to close as tightly as it's supposed to. So your hair is now brittle and it starts breaking. And this is why you have seen, even with dreadlocks, people were like, oh no, they do that blonde thing with dreadlocks and then all of a sudden it starts to fall apart.
Yes.
Absolutely. That is exactly that, is that we have now broken the actual protective layer of the hair, so it is unable to maintain moisture, and as a result it becomes brittle and it starts to fall apart. Now, this is the basics that you would expect that anybody that goes to school would then be taught, because when you understand hair needs to be protected, it needs these types of things, what sort of treatments and products are you then developing to be able to facilitate that protection of the hair? We don't have that. And so I look at the products that are in the market and I'm like, who made these and what were they thinking? I'm not even at the point where we're talking about the chemicals. I'm sure there was a study that was released very recently that talks about how black women are more prone to ovarian cysts as a result of the products that we are using.
Oh my goodness.
No, this is an actual study.
Yo, and it's from the hair products.
It's hair products, it's cosmetics, it's all of these things. So, but I mean, with us, the kind of hair products that are made for us with the carcinogenic products that they're using, most of our products have products that are made from petroleum. And these things are really, really harmful to us. The preservatives that they are using are endocrine disruptors. There's just so much that is happening in the hair industry that we have not had a chance to unpack and talk about. It's a lot, Nziki. It's not just the products that are being made, it's the treatments that you're getting in the salon. Those things themselves are making you sick. And we're not even having that conversation. You have SAPRA, and you are asking yourself, SAPRA, where are you in this conversation? Why are you not regulating? I know that there is an act that was supposed to have been passed a few years ago that tries to regulate cosmetics, but it has not been enacted. However, when you work with the likes of like Discam, they will tell you your products have to be in line with the Labeling Act, just so that they can keep black people out of it. Because if you look at literally, if you and I were to go to a Discam and I were to take you through the ingredients that these people are using to make products, particularly our products, you would then be shocked.
What?
Yeah.
So they're not putting these toxins in white Caucasian?
Well, the majority of the, it's a price thing. Right? We can't afford certain things. We are made, good products are expensive. So the majority of our people will do what? They will do what people call hair food. Let's look at this product that everybody calls hair food.
Yes.
Hair food is Vaseline. Vaseline is a derivative of petrol. And all they do is then they put like urea and a whole lot of other things into that, and then they put a fragrance. In that fragrance, you have no clue what has gone into that. Now people literally better to Vaseline with fragrance and a whole lot of other harmful stuff, and they put it onto their hair. Relaxers, I can't even go to that because, one of the things that I wanted to find out, imagine we are Pick and Pay. You can get a 8-10-year-old going into Pick and Pay. Are you saying relax? Right? Nobody's gonna say at the till you can't buy this. But that thing literally is so caustic. So many of our people have burnt their scalp, burnt their follicles from that. But an 8-year-old, a black 8-year-old can go to Pick and Pay and go and buy that product. And you know what's on that product? For professional use only. Why is Pick and Pay selling that product to young people? Why is it selling to non-professionals? Why is it that they at the till not asking you for your qualification? Where's your qualification to be able to use this product? It's okay for our scalps to burn. It's okay for us to get hurt. Because for as long as we make money for white capital, everything is okay. The politics of hair goes beyond just the idea of wearing wigs or whether we're wearing wigs or relaxing our hair. It's the economics behind it and whether or not we are intentionally being hurt and intentionally, frustrated to hate our hair, because I think it is also intentional. Why is it that in South Africa, in 2026, with the black government, with SETAs that are run by black people, the education system has not changed the curriculum to make sure that they understand black hair? By the way, we have made offers to them to say, we are happy for you. We have done the research. We have done the research that can help you streamline these courses so that you can teach people how our hair needs to be treated. They have not bothered to change that curriculum. Why? After so long. Because our hair is not important. It's not that our hair is not important. Identity is not important. Our ways of being are not important. So it is okay for us to seek assimilation into whiteness, into white likeness. And that way, we are socially acceptable. We look right. Our hair behaves in the manner. Also, why are we blow drying my hair? So that it can move. Go bang. Because Mariki's hair moves, so my hair must move. Why are you blow drying my hair? What's the thinking?
But they want it more straight.
So what can happen? So that I can fit into this box of clean. You see, the concept of clean, brown is dirty, white is clean. White hair is clean. Black hair is dirty. So we do this. We are educated this way from when we are when we are babies. We are told it must be either taken off or melus wash always clean so that it falls neatly into this box of what the system defines as clean and neat. We have not gone anywhere to try and change that. Our systems, our government has not gone anywhere to try and change that, to the fact that today we are still having schools. My daughter went to a school in Pretoria where they were not allowed to even cornrow their hair.
Yo.
Which is a message. Cornrowing your hair is a cultural thing. It's a message. It's an identity thing. But even the teachers don't even know this. So when we're so disconnected to our own identity, what are we teaching our children? Our hair is our identity. It's our culture. It's our way of being. But those things still have not found space in today's society in South Africa. We talk about a post-colonial thing. Where? When all the systems are pretty much colonial, when the ways of being are pretty much colonial, where the beneficiaries of everything that we are, from vugeksenyo, kiazamazinyo, to sleeping, all of that money goes nowhere in terms of abantu abamnyama. We only benefit white people, and so they're only willing to do this much. Just enough. A few years ago, I'm not going to mention a brand. There's a brand that you know too, anti-dandruff. It's got an anti-dandruff shampoo. Very big. I think number 1 or number 2. This product, this brand goes on to say, we are now making a black version of this product. And you know what they did? They just added shea butter.
Yeah.
That's all. Shea butter. So anything that's got shea butter, it's black. Just put shea butter on that. It's cool. No science, no nothing. It's okay. As long as it's got shea butter, it's fine. That's as far as we go. That's as far as the science that is our hair is concerned. And this is what we've had to contend with. When I was making my own products, one of the things that I came across was that my products are dermatology tested. The dermatology test itself was problematic. Why? My products had to be tested on what they call Fitzpatrick skin. Fitzpatrick skin is the palest white skin because the test itself is meant to read allergens. So when you are allergic, the white person's skin turns red. Therefore, if my products are being used by this white person and they turn red, and I wasn't designing these products for them, but they're not testing them on black skin. They're testing them on white skin, on white people. So I ask, so my products are tested on Fitzpatrick skin. Oh yes, that is the highest standard of testing. Oh, really? Is there nothing else? No. So my products, yes, are dermatology tested, but they're tested on white people.
This is insane.
That is the standard. That is the standard. So when they bring your babies, I'm going to go a little bit off. When they bring your baby and that product that they make for babies that say it's for black babies and it puts them to sleep and you see your baby, your brown baby those products are not tested on black babies. Those products are tested on white babies. And the reality is that by the way, our skin is a lot more sensitive. Our skin is a lot more sensitive to white skin. It's a lot, it's not as strong as their skin. Their hair is stronger, the skin also. We're a lot more sensitive. It's just that our sensitivity doesn't show as much as it does with them because we're darker. But they're not wanting to invest in the technology that does the tests that will work for us. They don't exist. No, I'm telling you, they don't exist. And I dare anybody to tell me there is a skin test that specifically looks at black people. I dare any dermatologist, I dare any product manufacturer to tell me when they say our products are tested on sensitive skin, to tell me today that they studied black skin's reaction to this product. I dare them. And what that process was. Because I worked with top universities in South Africa and that test literally looks at Fitzpatrick's skin.
That is so deep.
Sad.
You touched on like our radars went up when you were talking about the dangerous chemicals that they have in our hair products and
Causing
our skin
cancer,
products.
yeah. Causing cancer and ovarian cysts.
Which ones, what should we look out for? How should we be looking after our hair and our skin?
Okay, so ideally you want to go with your plant-based treatments or plant-based products. Even when you are looking at your preservatives, you want to stay away from anything that says PEG. Stay away. When you see PEG in any of your cosmetics, just stay away from that stuff. Like literally. When you see I'm trying to think a number of things that they do also. So there's another thing that they do is they put emollients, and most of those emollients come from the petroleum industry. And those are some of the things that are highly problematic. So there are websites, like there's an EWG website, I'll share with you the names of these websites. So you can just take your product and go and look out for that. There's a number of things that they put on there. I would not be able to go through all of it at once, but PEGs are definitely one of those things that you don't want to do. You want to use your more natural products, your plant-based products. You want to use a lot of water. You want to use less heat on your hair. You definitely don't want to dye your hair. If you are dyeing your hair, you want to use indigo. You want to use henna.
I was about to say, okay.
Yeah, you want to use indigo. You want to use henna. There are other dyes that we are working on. I can't divulge that yet, but these are plant-based dyes of plants that we've identified in South Africa that are able to do that. What we are struggling with, and that will always be a struggle, is how do we open the cuticle gently enough to be able to deposit that color? Because even if we do find a product, even if we do find a color, if we can't open the cuticle gently enough without actually destroying it.
How come henna can do it?
Henna, it doesn't dye your hair. Henna coats your hair. Actually, henna works as a protective layer. It sits as a glove on top of the cuticle. It does not penetrate. The particles, the henna, are too big to penetrate the cuticle, so they're not depositing the dye. And this is why over time it washes off, because it literally sits on top of your hair. It doesn't go into your hair. Neither does indigo.
And henna actually feels good. You can feel that it's doing work.
But this is because it actually does the protecting of your cuticle. So it sits on top of your cuticle to protect your cuticle, so that it provides that extra layer that enables you to be able to keep moisture.
So that's actually the protective hairstyle. Because remember when they were saying that weaves are a protective hairstyle?
Well, protective in the sense that underneath it, they will then have like cornrows, and then they will put the weave on. If you don't have a weave on, the majority of us will then do braids. Braids pull your hair. Yes, they are pretty, but because also CETA does not have classes where people go and learn the techniques and why you can't pull hair, why hair needs to be sectioned in a particular way, why you can't do certain hairstyles, why certain hairstyles are protective and others are not. Because even when you're plaiting, yeah, sure, cornrows are supposed to be protective hairstyles because they keep your hair away from you so that you aren't constantly wanting to comb it, you aren't constantly wanting to blow dry it, so you are allowing your hair to rest. Right, you're protecting it from dryness because when your hair is out, it also gets drier a lot quicker. The elements outside create drama for your hair. So yeah, you keep it down and you wear a hat and you wear weaves, so it's sort of protective. But that's you know.
Do other races also have to protect their hair? Do they have protective hairstyles?
But their hair is not as
vulnerable
as yours. You see, it's the structure of your hair. I always say, like, one of the things that most black people don't understand is like this idea of straightening your hair. Your hair grows in a curl pattern for a reason. Yeah. So generally, white people's hair is cylindrical. Ours is a flat oval, the structure. So at a microscopic level, white people's hair is cylindrical, it goes like this. Where ours is more flat, it's more oval. But also, as your hair comes out of your scalp, out of the thing, it grows out straight, and then at the point where it is weak, it curls to protect itself. So our curl pattern is our hair's mechanism to protect itself. So when you are straightening it, you are actually exposing all of those microfractures or all of those things that nature had decided, oh, we are weak here, so let's curl down so that we can protect ourselves. So you are working against your hair's own protection when you're actually straightening your hair.
This is so fascinating. I mean, breaking the hair down to like what it is. So when you were saying that the difference between DNA and energy, I think one of our guests once said that, and it triggered you a bit.
It did.
Let's unpack that.
Okay.
Because what happens then, because we hear that the weaves are like, Indian people will be doing rituals to remove bad luck and stuff, or it's poor people selling their hair.
Right.
So
it's energy.
Energy, what's the difference between energy and DNA?
Okay, DNA is much deeper. It's like in your blood. It's what informs who you are. It's your lineage. It's your biological makeup. You can't edit your biological makeup by wearing someone's hair. However, hair does carry energy, like I said. So I'm going to tell you a little story. So a few years back, I think around 2018, my brother died. And I had dreadlocks at the time. And I went through a bad depression. I went through what I call a breakdown. I was just not getting better. I was taking medicine and I was just not getting better. And then this one time in my sleep, God said, no, this is the medicine you need to take. So I was given medicine, a particular type of root that I needed to take, and I started to feel better. But I was now functional, because when I had a mental breakdown, it was like, I would say, a toothpick. In my head, I'm saying, toothpick, but to the people that were listening, I was like, it was, that it was that bad. So, and then I started taking the medicine, and of course, my mental breakdown was getting better, but I was still not feeling better. This one time, I'm like, let me just cut my hair. So I literally went in and I cut my hair, and I swear I felt better immediately. Which goes to the thing, why do we cut our hair when somebody in our family has passed? Because hair carries memory, hair carries grief, hair carries emotion, hair carries all of these things. It really does. So once I had taken off that hair, once I'd taken off my dreadlocks, I felt better. Literally, I was able to function. As you can see, I'm fine. What then happens is, going back to the Indians, even with them, it's the same ritual. I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. As my way of atoning, I will give you my hair. We do it as Africans. If I go, for instance, Ngioka Imiti, and I don't have money, I can take a little bit of my hair and I can offer that to the Great Mother. So you can use your hair as your offering. We do that. Indians do that. Ancient communities, ancient religions do that. They offer their hair as a gift, as a token. of whether, is it an apology or whether it's a gift, whatever, but we offer our hair that way. But obviously, like I said, it carries all of that. It carries the thing I want to atone for. It carries the memories of that. It carries the grief of that. It carries all of that. So when somebody else takes it and processes it and brings it back to me, and again, here's the thing, you're not just buying hair from one person. It's just a bunch of hair that's put together. And it's a bunch of people who have gone through a whole lot of things. And you are taking all of that energy and you are now putting it on your head, on your crown chakra, like, which is where you absorb energy. It does create problems. I'm not dictating to people to do it. I'm saying, understand that when you are doing that, your crown chakra, which is on your head, is the crown chakra that is more open. And so when you do that, you are able to absorb a lot more of these energies and these people's emotions, etc., etc. That can be problematic. There are ways around it, like I said. You can go ukwehlisa konke kuyehla, akukho kungehle emoyeni, uyakwazi ukuthi ukwehlise, ukuthenge, ukwenzele some rituals so that you are able to then do what it is that you need to do. But I'm not advocating for people wearing wigs, by the way. I'm just saying, then let's give people options, because the system is the way that it is. Women are looked at the way that they are. Our black women still must go and work for these white people who expect them to look a particular way, who expect them to look like Barbie dolls. We have not fixed the system. We have not taken away capital. We have not taken away the means of production from white people. And yet we are saying to these very people that are going into that system, hey, it's your fault, the system is the way that it is and you are conforming to the system. We are failing to deal with the system, but we are saying black women must be the ones that are fighting this by themselves. Let's go fix the system. Let's go get the means of production, give them back to black people who are conscious, who know themselves, who are not going to insist that black women look a particular way before they can give them jobs. Who are not going to insist women look like, Barbie before they start giving them jobs. Or black men who are not going to be expecting black women to look like Barbie before they can start dating them. Because the reality of the situation is they are buying these 18, because they themselves, these black men that are talking so badly about black women, are the same ones that demand this. And I did this. There's a picture that I did with Uzanela Mholi where I was wearing a weave. It was a social experiment that her and I did. And I wanted to see how people react to me when I had dreadlocks versus to when I had a weave. And I can tell you, people said to me I was a lot more approachable. I looked a lot friendlier with the weave. And they're like, no, you don't date a woman on dreadlocks for ukdlalo yashada. When you want to play, you go to the Barbie doll looking 18-inch wearing. That is the idea out there. So women are having the pressure to look that way as well. So let's address that pressure before we can address black women and say, who's creating pressure for black women? But anyway, going back to where we are around energy and the transference thereof, I think it's important for us to be aware of how things affect us, because when you are bringing somebody else's energy into your own life, it does create a disconnect. How cool. Even with your own guys, it becomes very problematic, because now there's so much happening. There's just so much happening there energetically. So I'm just saying, be aware of what it does to you energetically as you are doing it. But no, it doesn't change your DNA structure. That is bad science. And science is ours. Science is not white. It's ours. We taught them science. Yeah. So
how do we look after our hair?
So for me, it's quite basic, and it's not really that expensive. You want to find products that will bring moisture into your hair, firstly, because one of our greatest thing is that our hair loses a lot of moisture, and then it becomes like a twig. A dry twig breaks. A wet twig will then, it will move, it will do all kinds of things. So the biggest thing for African hair is moisture. Use a lot of products that will put moisture into your hair. You want products that have the ability to gently open up your cuticle, and warm water, for instance, or steam has a way of lifting up your cuticles so that you are able to deposit moisture into your hair. So steaming is a good practice for people with black hair. So steam your hair. Steam your hair and use, if you're going to use oils, use oils that have got small molecules. So for instance, your coconut oil. Coconut oil has got very, very small molecules. Shea butter that everybody speaks of is great, but it protects hair on the outside. The molecules are too big to get inside hair. So you want to find hydrophilic products. I know we don't have them in the market. We do. I'm not talking about that, but yeah, we do. Hydrophilic products are products that work like this. A hydrophilic product would be a product that has oil and water. So it enables, there's a chemical exchange that happens that enables the oil to be able to combine with water. That's a hydrophilic product. So you want to find either hydrophilic serum or hydrophilic product that enables oil and water to mix. So there's this thing in the natural hair community, they say it's the lock method. So it's liquid oil, conditioner or cream. That for me does not make sense, because remember, when you say liquid, yes, great, I agree. You need to put in moisture. But then once you put oil, you close.
Yes.
So whatever you put after that, you've already sealed. So that doesn't make sense for me. So what you want to do is go liquid and then put in a hydrophilic serum or a hydrophilic product. And that product would then enable your oil situation to then be able to weave in between, because that's what a hydrophilic product does, is that it accepts water, it accepts oil. Where if you just use oil will block the water. So yes, today it will work, but tomorrow once you put in the oil, you've now created a seal, because there's oil that is now blocking.
So we should always end up with the oil.
Well, a particular kind of oil. So you want to put in oil, but you need to have a hydrophilic product in between your oil, so that whenever you have put in your oil product, the water can still come through. What we are doing with the lock method is that you are putting in water, then you are sealing. So Sasa, when you are coming with your spray bottle, that water is just literally sitting on top of your hair and it's going to evaporate. It's gone. It's not gone into the hair because the oil has now sealed the cuticle. That's why you need that hydrophilic product that is going to ensure that water can still go in, and once the water has gone in, it will dry and close in, and then the water will, the oil will then seal.
Are you supposed to be doing this daily?
You need to hydrate your hair as much as possible. So for me, if you can hydrate your hair every day, that's great.
Okay, so every day you do those three, mazisa, and then the whole process.
You don't have to oil every day, but you do need to hydrate every day. You do need to hydrate every day. You do need to steam once, or if you can, once a week. At the very least, once every 2 weeks, make sure that you have doing a steam treatment. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh no, I can't go to a salon and do a steam. And very few salons have steamers, right?
Yeah,
for some odd reason, I don't know why. Because if you do black hair, you can't do black hair and not have a steamer. Or get rid of those dryers. We don't need those. The thing we need is a steamer. Wash hair, apply a product, particularly a hydrophilic product, and then put the person into the steamer. Steam that hair so that you can lock the oil, lock the moisture that's already, because remember I said to you that steam opens up the cuticle. So you want to then open the cuticle a lot further, and then so the steam will be able to.
You just put the mic on towards your mouth.
Just so that it's not disturbing me that much. Okay, so you want to use amanzi, so you wash the hair, then you put in a hydrophilic product, then you steam, then you seal with oil, and then you do whatever protective hairstyle you want to do or not. And then you hydrate your hair, amanzi, and you oil your scalp, because that's also quite important. You need to be able to hydrate your follicles, make sure that the hairstyles are not pulling, on your scalp. This is why we have a lot of people it says, because we are pulling our hair. And again now, koloko, there's so much out there. I know you were talking about somebody that did a study on hair loss.
Yes.
And I'm like, even that study for me is incomplete, because in our study we've discovered there's a lot more to hair loss. It's not just that black people are pulling their hair. No, there is a gut bacteria that we have identified that causes hair loss. We've also identified at certain times women who are menopausal, because your hair grows because of estrogen and all of that. So when you're menopausal, your system is not as regulated, and as a result, you start running into problems with your hair. So there needs to be a way where we are intervening as hair technicians at that level, saying, you are now 35, 40. We need to start introducing these vitamins or these hormones into either your product or the food that you are eating, your collagens, etc. These are the sort of things that you need to start eating. Make sure you are eating a mangrena, because that collagen is in there.
Really?
And by the way, it's better absorbed into your skin and into your hair, because it's more bioavailable than collagen that you buy, like the collagen that people are onto now.
What? A mangrena as in chicken feet?
Chicken feet, awenkomo, all of that, bovine collagen and all of that. All of that. That is where the collagen comes from. So you want to eat that, particularly 35, that should be your daily thing. Collagen, garlic, a lot of onion. If you are struggling with hair loss, you want to eat onion, you want to eat your turmerics, you want to eat food that your legumes, you want to eat a lot more of those, but mostly your onion, your garlic, your the other thing is broccoli. You want to eat a lot of your broccoli, you want to eat a lot of your spinach, you want to eat a lot of your strawberries. There's just different kinds of food. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are great. So if you are losing hair, literally never ever from today, don't throw away your pumpkin seeds. So when you make your pumpkin, just take it out, put it in the oven. If you don't like them like that, put a little bit of chili, a little bit of mozzarella,
even butternut, obviously.
Okay. Just put it in the oven, dry it up, and eat that stuff, or put it out in the sun if you can and eat that stuff. It's great for your hair, it's great for hair loss, men and women.
Wow. And which oils should we be putting in our hair?
So oils that are good for you, jojoba oil is good for you. Like I said, coconut oil is good for you. We use mubudu oil. Mubudu is from Limpopo. There's Zemenia oil. You can use Zemenia oil. You can use mopani seed oil. You can use avocado oil. Let me see what other oils do I use.
Any essentials?
Essential oils for hair loss, you want to make sure that you have ginger, you have peppermint, you have black pepper, you have basil, you have lemongrass, trying to think. Lavender is good for hair growth as well. Vetiver is a bit expensive.
Rosemary.
Definitely. Okay. Ginger, rosemary, noma ngabe kwenzakalani. Those two are like your staple nje noma kuthiwa when you've got scalp issues. So if your scalp is itchy, you definitely want to use mopani seed oil. It's not a very popular oil, but it's a really, really good oil. It's much better than tea tree. Tea tree works, but mopani seed oil, if you can mix them together, as well as your eucalyptus and a little bit of peppermint, and use a base that is gentle. So your MCT oils are they're not oily. So one of the things is you don't want a greasy scalp. So you want to use a base that's like an MCT oil. It will help, because also MCT oils come from coconut. So they're fractionated from coconut oil. So you want to use that. It's a lot gentler on your scalp.
Earlier on you said petroleum is bad, and that's what we're all using. That's Vaseline. So what do you want to say about Vaseline?
Puma Vaseline. Vaseline was not made for you. It was just made to just clog your system. We don't need that stuff. We have good oils. We have shea butter. We have mango butter. There's so many butters that you can use. Stick with the butters. Stay away from petroleum-based products.
What about lower income homes? Which
Castor
oils?
oil.
Castor oil. To moisturize with.
It's a castor oil. And then just put maybe an essential oil. Put rose essential oil for the smell, and it will take it away. But you have no business putting the Vaseline over your skin. And also, I'm not understanding this thing, which is Sambe City, asnamali and don, because we are conditioned to that thing, looking after ourselves is expensive. It's not expensive. Not looking after yourself is expensive because then you're going to get cancer. Then you're going to have issues with your reproductive system over hair products, over skin products. It doesn't make sense. Pick your battles. It's not that more expensive. If you're really, really broke, one of the riverbanks. Oh, girl. Riverbanks have got there's a plant that's got thorns.
Okay.
It foams.
Okay.
Go and collect that. Go and collect that and wash your hair with that. We have a lot of foaming plants that you can then use instead of these things that they are making you use that are a lot healthier, that are better for you. Castor oil. On the riverbanks, castor oil grows on most riverbanks.
Really?
Yeah. Even all of these rivers, you will find castor oil there. So you can go there. The leaf is quite big, and you wait, and then you go and extract castor oil. It's quite simple. It's not that difficult. You break those seeds zakhona, ufaka amanzi abandayo, and then you press with your hands until it starts to form like a paste and a cake, and then you leave it for a bit. You just keep pressing it. You will then be able to do a cold press. Castor oil. Of course, we've got machines. I literally go into nature. Yes. I find products and then I extract, and then we make products. But literally, if you are saying you don't have money, I understand you and I get you. The system has created all of these problems. But you've got time. You can't not have money and not have time. Yeah? When you have time, you have money. When you don't have money, you've got time. So when you've got time, go to the river, go and get the castor oil plant, come back, do your castor oil extractions, and then you will have a clean product for you and your family. You have extracted yourself, you know what's in it, and it will be better. And by the way, the castor oil that comes straight from the castor seed doesn't smell that much. It's the processing also sometimes that messes up with the basics. Because even with castor oil, they do still extract other things. There's another ingredient we get out of castor oil that we use to make a deodorant because its pHI is quite low. So that whole process of extracting in a formal environment enables you to extract other molecules within the castor seed oil itself. So that in itself just messes up things, So you are better off you can go and get your own castor seed. So don't tell me that
in cold water.
Yeah, you extract it with cold water. I can do a video and send it to you.
We will come to your factory and then you're going to show us how to do some of the stuff, please.
Awesome. Actually, let's not do a factory because I can bring the seeds here. Because then people are like, oh, you're using machines. So I'm going to show you how you can do something as simple as you can walk around Elokshini. There's rose trees. How do you extract rose oil from rose trees?
Geranium.
We'll just come in, we'll collect some roses, take a simple pot and do a simple extraction so that you are able to get even a distillate. Different distillates do different things. Instead of going and buying a toner, you can then use your rose water as your toner. Then add an oil that is an estrogen that will be able to take out some of the oil and just keep your skin nice. So we can do those things so that people are not saying, I can't afford it.
That's going to be nice.
Yes.
Thank
We
you
can do that.
so
We can
much,
do that.
Coco.
I'd love to do that.
Then lastly, what are some of the challenges that black hair care and black skin product manufacturers, such as yourself, are facing in the market? Like earlier on, you were saying that some of the labeling is how they keep you out the market.
Right. So, for starters, I will say, so my issue with Discam was that we went through the process and they're like, oh no, we'll list you. We submitted everything. Literally, we passed everything. And then the girl that was supposed to list us says, oh no, we have too many black products on the market. And then, of course, I didn't understand this. Oh no, I see you're shocked. I didn't understand what she meant. It's true, there are products on the market, but they're not products that are designed with us in mind. These are products that come from the US. I always say it's as simple as taking an expensive shoe that is made in another country. And you're saying, okay, so if this shoe is 500 Rand, how much of it is import costs? How much of it is labor costs from that country? How much of it is the petrol to come here and the brand itself? And how much is left for the actual shoe? So the products that are in the market, yes, it's 200 Rand, but how much of that 200 Rand goes into the quality products? Or you're just paying for the brand and the fact that it comes from the US? Or it comes from China, which is what most of these products are being made from. We are saying we make products locally, and there's a lot of us. I mean, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of us that make really amazing products. They might not be tested, but we make products, and some really try to use natural products. They may not go into the big science of it, but at least they're safer than what is currently in the market in these shops that don't want to list us. So that's one thing. I'm not even trying to get into their spaces. I'm over that.
Yeah.
I'm over that. I'm not allowing white people to make money out of my people because their margins are crazy. So no, thank you very much. We will pass. I am actually starting to incubate other black manufacturers because I think the more of us who understand the science, the more of us will then be able to produce products that are working. So that's kind of the space that I'm trying to get into. Well, I am in because I'm already mentoring a few students from university who are wanting to get into the cosmetic space to say this is how you make a product, this is how you create a USP for it, etc., etc. So I'm in that space. So there will be good products that are coming out from young people. We can look out for that. But one of the greatest things is that these people, white people, have reach. They have all of these stores. They have marketing. They have money.
Distribution channels.
Absolutely, that a lot of our people do not have. That's one aspect. They also have numbers. When you are buying this bottle, Jay, you will find that this bottle is 2.50, right? That's just the bottle. Because you are buying one. But when you are buying 1,000 these, this bottle cheaper. Is suddenly 1 rand. When you are buying 1,000,000 of these, this bottle is suddenly 10 cents. So they have scale that a lot of our people do not have. And at some point, we then need to create platforms for ourselves to be able to do the bulk buying as black producers of cosmetics so that we are able to give ourselves the scale. We are able to buy shea butter, put it into a lab and purify it, because that's another thing. One of the challenges that I had when I had a clinic was that people would say I'm using shea butter, but now they're like, oh, it's raw shea butter. And then they come to me and I'm looking at the scalp and there's an infection. It's like, no, but I'm using raw shea butter, I'm not using anything. But here's the challenge. Where is that shea butter being sourced from? Does the tree have infection? What is happening there chemically? Has it been studied to make sure? Has it been cleaned? Has it been warmed up and all of the impurities removed somehow through the various processes? I'm not saying process, add other things. I'm saying what are the other things that have been done to make sure that that shea butter is not going to take pathogens from nature, because nature itself has its own pathogens that may very well create allergies and allergens, right? So yes, it's shea butter and it's really, really clean, but if it's not been processed properly, it's going to create problems, even on your scalp.
But no, you've told us we don't use shea butter on our hair.
No, you can, but it's not the only thing. I'm saying it's not the only thing. There are other butters. You've got mongongo butter, for instance. There's another oil that we don't think about, which is really, really important. Oil from prickly pear seeds. That oil is amazing. It's literally 10 times better than Moroccan oil. And we have prickly pear in abundance in South Africa, and people are like, we are unemployed. And I'm like, there's prickly pear. Go and process prickly pear. Go and get it from the wild, grow it, and extract the prickly pear oil. And you have something that works 10 times better than Moroccan oil. Moroccan oil is really great. It really will moisturize your skin. It also has low molecules, so it is able to penetrate your skin and your hair better, all of that stuff. But we have what I call green gold. The reason why I'm in the biotech space is because we have green gold. We can make green cosmetics, we can make green medicine, but we are not investing in any of that. Our government is not investing in it. The ones with money are not really investing in the science that is important for us to be able to harvest the green gold and do what is necessary to create the jobs that everybody is talking about. We have enough, literally. In nature, we have more than enough. We could be the medicine basket of the world. Forget food basket. We could be the medicine basket of the world if we chose to.
Sure. I can't believe we spoke for an hour about hair. Hey. We must also unpack even how men, why do men shave all the time?
Again, it's part of that whole clean thing. It's part of the keeping clean and fitting into the box. However, I want to also say, it's not a bad thing. If you go into Kemet history, you will find that men cut their hair, and young people would cut their hair, and then gusale, what they call the lock of youth. So we used to cut our hair. Throughout the continent, you will see even you cut your hair. So there are spiritual significance reasons as to why one would cut their hair. There's a fresh start, particularly when or even young men generally it's that whole fresh start thing. So we do it. I'm very wary of us imposing these you can and cannot, particularly because I've been talking about decolonizing, and I'm saying, but whose lens are you using to talk about decolonization when in fact a lot of our ways of being, a lot of our history has been deleted. So what informs you? So sometimes it's not connected, at least they give you a reason. For those who don't, can we just be less judgmental, because we really don't know where any of it comes from.
Thank you so much, Umoya Ulight, Umoya Upright. Another fantastic episode, the education you're not going to get at the Mlungu schools. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you to our members who help us keep the lights on, and we will see you again next time.
Who are you when all you were has been diluted by lies and white lines cancelling out all that which has been written of your history? Why do you look at yourself as a mystery? Doesn't the sun shine because you open your eyes? Doesn't the moon stay situated within the same stars your DNA sparkles off? Your spirit knows that surely corner into e off. Buza umoya so you may return to being well off. Because spiritually you are rich, yet your ancestors cry because you are out of reach. But yours is to command all elements while God takes inspiration from the very mirror she looked at to become. Remember who you are and never finish just when they think that with you they are done.